I'd like to start out with some thank yous. First off, family and friends that are here. Actually didn't count on that. Didn't dawn on me, but I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you being here at the first. I appreciate you being here today. I'd like to thank Jamie Pollard for giving me the opportunity to be a head football coach. To give me the opportunity to be the head football coach at Iowa State. Somebody had to take a chance, and he did that for me, and I'm very appreciative of that. I'd like to thank Dr. Joffrey for his approval of that hire and the support that he gave me as we got this thing started. I'd like to thank the fans here at Iowa State. I've often said that they are the most loyal in college athletics. How do you define that? How do you say that about a fan base like other coaches, like other directors would? Well, this football program has been to 12 bowls in the history of the program. They've won 3. They have 2 outright conference titles that occurred in 1911 and 1912. But they keep coming back, and their support is never ending. I would think that would qualify for being the most loyal fan base in college athletics. I'd like to thank the countless loyal supporters that I've come to know as friends. Their support means a great deal to me. There's a bunch and too many to name, but you know who you are, and I thank you. The Cyclone Gridiron Club, specifically the late Mike Lacey, first president when I got here, Jay Chapman, current president of the Cyclone Gridiron Club, and the board. Their dedication to this program has been just phenomenal, and their support of our kids and our mission has been overwhelming. I'd like to thank our staff. It's been an honor for me to be able to coach and work with a group of people that are dedicated, talented, and loyal as any group I've ever been around. 7 years I've been very fortunate to work with tremendous people. Most of all, I'd like to thank our players, past and present, that have given their all for the Cardinal and Gold. I trust that I've made a small impact on you, because I promise you, you've made a large impact on Vicki and I. We're proud of our accomplishments. I'd like to highlight some of them, starting academically. In this past year, we have 51 Cyclone Scholar athletes. Those are football players maintaining a GPA of 3.0 or higher. In this past year, the fall of 2014 and spring of 2015, we had 67 football players named to the Big 12 Commissioners Honor Roll. Just this year, this fall, we had 8 first-team academic all Big 12 performers, including our son, Jake Rhoads. Both the APR and the graduation rate of our football program are at the highest level they've ever been in the history of Iowa State football. In the community, just this past year, we've had 142 kids serving other people to the tune of 245 hours. Some of that community support was felt through hospital visits, Special Olympics, Relay for Life, Dance Marathon, Shop with a Cop, just to name a few things. And I know we've had a large impact in this community. On the gridiron, we were the first staff to go to and win a bowl in our first season. We were the first staff to beat a ranked opponent in 3 consecutive seasons. We won 3 games on the road versus ranked opponents. That's half of the all-time total here at Iowa State. We went to 3 bowls in our first 4 years. We've engineered the largest comeback in the history of the football program 2 years ago in Morgantown. We have the only win over a top 5 program in the history of Iowa State football. We set attendance records 3 out of the last 4 years. We have currently 32 games of 50,000 plus in Jack Trice Stadium. All these things we're extremely proud of. In the end, in a year that we've lost 6 games to teams that are currently ranked in the AP Top 25, it was not enough. Unfortunately, it's a bottom line business, and I fully understand that, and our staff understands that. When I left here in 2000 to take the DC job at Pitt, I was asked by many people, some here today, I was asked by many people, how good will this football team be in 2000? I said, this team will win 8 games. I missed it by 1. They won 9. The 2016 Iowa State football team will be bowling because we leave behind a great nucleus of talent, leadership, and commitment to what takes place on the football field. I'm sorry we won't get an opportunity to see that through. I wish that team and the fans nothing but the absolute very best. Lastly, I told her I wouldn't, and I saved it for the end. But I thank Vicki for her love and support through this time. In all 7 years. She's always been in it, right in the middle of it, with the players. Wednesday night, she'll cook for the seniors for one last time here at Iowa State. And we'll have a heck of a meal, and we'll have a heck of a night. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul, for that. For many, many years before Paul Rhoads' era, Iowa State has had trouble winning football games consistently. You've seen it up close and personal. Why is that, and what can be done? Is there anything Iowa State can do in the future, moving forward, to see if that trend can change?
Well, you're accurate, Randy, and you're talking about a lot of years. You're talking about a lot of years. The facilities here at Iowa State right now are phenomenal. And we have many people to thank for that, but certainly Jamie Pollard at the very top of the list. This Bergstrom football complex is out of sight, and it's a great recruiting tool. The expansion of Jack Trice Stadium also impacts recruiting. Certainly it impacts the fan base, I believe, more, but it's something that you can certainly recruit to. If I was to name a couple things in 2015 heading into 2016 that could impact the number of wins and where this program can go from here, it would be one that I've overstated in the last couple years, and that is the AD needs to support the head coach in getting parents and guardians to be able to be paid for to come on a trip to this campus. Because the people of Iowa and Ames and Iowa State are genuine and sincere and phenomenal. When a recruit and his parents are on campus and they get a chance to experience that, you got a good chance that you're going to get them. I think the schedule, as it is right now, in the Big 12, with only 10 teams and a round robin of 9, is very difficult for Iowa State to be successful. Doesn't mean it's best for the league, but it would be in Iowa State's best interest to be in a 12-team league with 2 divisions and not having to play everybody. Scheduling overall has been brutal. 2 of our non-conference opponents this year have 1 loss between the 2 of them. One's 3rd or 4th in the country. One's in the top 25. The other school is in the FCS national playoffs, I believe. I saw a headline this morning. The schedule is brutal and difficult. We've always known that, and we've always played it and played it to the best of our ability. Those would be some things that would need to change for Iowa State to have a better chance.
Paul, what have the emotions been like for you these last couple of days?
Raw. I can't contain them, and I've never tried to hide them. Whether it's joy or anger or frustration or whatever that is. That's who I am. And I make no apologies for that. Talking to the football team in here yesterday at 12 o'clock was most difficult for me. I think in a way it was difficult for our players. I believe that. I don't have to think that. I believe that. I know that. So yesterday was a challenging day. Anytime you're fired, it means you didn't complete your task and were not successful at what it is you were trying to accomplish ultimately. In this sport, that's wins and losses. Today we got up and we went back to work and started out with a great team meeting and a great practice, and proud of how the kids came to work today.
Paul, what's next for you? What would you like to do after this?
Go to lunch. I have no idea. I have no idea. We're going to coach our tails off this week. We're going to go to Morgantown and try to get these seniors a victory to end their careers as Iowa State Cyclones. Sunday, we'll work to take care of the staff and some things that they need to know about their future. And then my primary mission, the days to come after that, will help all those men and ladies get jobs. That will be my tireless pursuit in the month of December.
I know on the teleconference you were talking about the players, but how do you individually approach this, knowing it's going to be the last game? Do you try to soak up certain things, or what's kind of your mindset moving forward?
No, I'm a ball coach, so I'm going to keep coaching. I relish the relationships I have with our players. I'll probably keep an eye on a couple players this week. See how a couple specific ones.
Coach, how did it come about for you to actually coach this final game? Was that something that you really pushed for? Was that?
I was given the opportunity. Chris. I'm no quitter. I would never have walked away. I wouldn't have walked away from the job. I wouldn't have walked away from the opportunity to coach these young men one more time.
Paul, in a warped way, you sealed your own fate. You could have left a few times for other jobs, yet you didn't. You knew, knowing how tough this job was. Why didn't you leave?
I wondered if somebody would ask that, because I'm unbelievably loyal. And wanted to accomplish here at Iowa State what had never been done before. I gave you some highlights that we did, but I wanted more. And after 3 bowls in 4 years, yeah, betcha, I could have been gone. But I wanted to do what hadn't been done before. It meant a great deal to me to be able to provide that for the fans at Iowa State University. So I stuck around and continued to give it everything I had. In the end, it wasn't enough.
One more thing. if you get a sense that some of the younger players may be looking to transfer, what advice do you give them?
That's a bad move. They're in a great place, Ames, Iowa State University, with all kinds of people that support and care about them, with an opportunity to get their education and play football at the highest level, would not be a wise move for any of them to make.
Coach, yesterday Oni was getting very emotional, talking about how a lot of other places didn't give him a chance, and that's something that he found here meant a lot to him, you specifically, and I think that's probably true for a number of guys. Can you just talk about those relationships, how those are different, because you're opening up avenues for some of these young men to show what they can do, and
Yeah, I think, I made some comments after the Texas victory this year. Well, line up every one of our scholarship players from the state of Texas and find out which ones were offered by the University of Texas or the University of Oklahoma or the likes of those folks. And you'll get zero. You'll get none. But we beat Texas twice, and we took Oklahoma State down when they were number 2 in the country, and some other great accomplishments, because we've had a program that's been dedicated to developing kids, to helping them reach their potential, to take kids that we projected that could play and play successfully at this level, and brought them in and loved them and gave them an opportunity. And they've given back to us a great amount. And whether it be Oni or others, it's been an honor and a privilege to coach them each and every single day.
Coach, with it being Thanksgiving week, what's it mean for you to be able to sit down with these seniors one last Thanksgiving meal?
Oh, it's wonderful. Thursday we'll talk as a team about what it is everybody's thankful for in a team setting. That will be great fun. That will be great fun. Wednesday night. It's a challenging menu that I got from him today. So she's got a lot to cook, and it'll be a great night for us to look back on all the fun times, and that's not limited to victories. There's a lot that happens within a football program 365 days a year, the week and Friday night in the hotel with the seniors and giving them an opportunity to speak one more time, and it'll be a great week for our team.
Paul, is there a moment from your time here that stands out to you more than anything else?
My opening press conference, first team meeting today, the opening press conference, just absolute joy and emotion. Family members that are here and friends that were there that day in waves was special. I think the first team meeting in Hunziker, one of the absolute greatest professional nights of my life. I aspired to be a head football coach for a long time, and to hold that very first team meeting was just sensational. I've got the note card and the notes that went along with the preparation of it in a manila folder, and I cherished it. Yesterday's team meeting card went in the same folder. Not as fun, but just as emotional. This is another kind of setting that closes a chapter on the 7 years of our life.
Paul, I see Wally sitting back there, and there may be more, but I just see Wally right now. At least he was. What's he meant to you?
He's a rock. I told him yesterday, he's old school loyal. And this profession this profession's changed a little bit. I had 20 great years as an assistant, and 7 now as a head coach. And in that time, this business, I should clarify, this business has changed. The profession is the best. There's nothing else I'd want to be doing than coaching kids. But the business has changed. And having somebody that's old school loyal, like Wally has been, whether it's with the staff, with me personally, with recruiting, with the kids, et cetera, et cetera. It's always been refreshing. I admire and respect him deeply.
One more thing, Paul. How's Mike Warren and Trevor Ryan?
Trevor's great. Trevor's great. Running around like the Energizer Bunny like he always does. Mike's a little sore, but I'm confident he'll be back for Saturday.
Coach, you referenced the state of the Big 12 with the 10 teams and the round robin, and then there's also the facility upgrades that you didn't really have when you first got here. So I guess weighing both, is this an easier job now or a more difficult job than when you got here?
Well, it's not an easier job. It's not an easier job. It will never be an easier job. We've got so much more in place now than we had before, and I think the impact of that is largely seen right now. That team I referenced that won 9 games and went 9-3 and won the Insight.com Bowl was recruited off of blueprints in concrete and steel of the Jacobson building, which at that time was a fantastic upgrade for the program as well. 27 seniors were on that team, and they were the first class that were recruited to that new facility, and obviously a part of a group of players that led this program to 4 bowl games in 5 years. The recruitment to this facility and what will take place with the renovations of Jack Trice Stadium are seen on the field right now. Look at Brian Beavey and Alan Lazard and Juan Wesley and Willie Harvey and Joel Lanning and so forth. Those are guys that we've recruited to the new. Those are guys that are just starting to mature and develop and get things and understand that. I don't doubt that you can see that in how we've been trending in our last 4 games and how we've played on the field as those younger players have started to develop. So, yeah, does the next guy, because it's all in place, have an opportunity? Sure it does. But it doesn't make it an easier job.
But when you weigh it with because the Big 12 is different when you first got here, I guess it's a question of as far as when you weigh it all together, how much more difficult is it because of that?
I still don't know if I understand.
Well, when you got here, you had the 2 divisions. You had what you were referencing earlier.
Oh yeah, we had an opportunity to finish this year with 4 Big 12 victories, which I told you would be the second most since 2005. But the 2005 team didn't play Texas, Oklahoma, or Texas Tech. We get them all. Everybody in this league that has some people up for the national playoff consideration and ranked in the top 25, and who knows where West Virginia could slip into it before it's all said and done as well. So no, it's much harder from where it was in 2009. This gives you a chance, but it doesn't decrease the intensity and the difficulty of the job.
Olin, what thing or things do you take the most pride in for the way you conducted yourself in this job for the past 7 years?
My personal, you're talking about? I don't like to talk about myself, Ralph. I think I've been full of class, done things the right way, represented the university and the people I work for, represented my family. I'm sure there are lots of bad words spoken about me out there in various fashions, water cooler rooms and all that. But other than losing football games, I didn't get very many.
Coach, what kind of man do you think Iowa State needs to hire? What kind of coach would you like to see succeed you here? Who's going to have success? What kind of man is suited for that?
I wish him nothing but success. Wish him nothing but success. They haven't asked me, and they won't. That's up to them to decide.
How much of a role do you play still recruiting this class? I mean, do you cut off all communication as of this weekend, or do you kind of work maybe with the new coach on suggesting that he keep these guys, or how much of a role do you play?
That will be a decision made by the university administration. When we got the job, all current commitments had already been told by the administration that their scholarships were guaranteed, and we proceeded along that way. Our recruits have been notified of that their scholarships and commitments are indeed guaranteed. But yeah, that will be the next staff's whirlwind to follow up with in December and January, and it will be a whirlwind.
Coach, your community outreach, you helped start Kid Captain with Jamie's son and reaching out with the Alzheimer's Association as well. What are you going to remember most, I guess, about the community here and the people that you helped impact?
Well, 12 years. We've been in this community for 12 years. We've been blessed to graduate our two boys from Gilbert High School. Our youngest, Wyatt, was born here at Mary Greeley Hospital and got to come back and finish out his upbringing. And the community's made a huge impact on our family in that process. Ames is a great place to live and raise a family, and the opportunity for us to give back in that process in most of those things that I've mentioned has been very gratifying to us. Vicki and I have been firmly entrenched in this community, and we're proud of the things that we've been able to support in that time.
You talked about some of the challenges that come with coaching here and in the Big 12. What's a realistic expectation maybe fans should have?
You know what, I'll leave that alone. Reality and fans sometimes is very convoluted. I'll just leave that one alone.
Coach, we've seen over the last couple of years, your guys' offense started looking a little different now than it did, 2-3 years ago. Did you learn something like halfway through your tenure where it made you want to go to where you're at now? And would you, going forward, if you were to give somebody advice on running this program, would you give them a specific piece of advice on that?
Oh, I've learned a lot, Chris. I've learned a lot every year in this profession, and lessons as a head coach have been different than they were as a coordinator, as a position coach. But I'd like to believe I learn on a daily basis. Defensively, we switched from a four-man front to a three-man front, and we're excited about that change, and we're excited about the opportunity to go recruit players that fit it better than what we had to put in there initially that don't necessarily fit some of the spots. But that was something that had to change because of recruiting, because of schemes, and so forth in this league and at Iowa State University. Offensively, you can probably, with the right players, be successful with, whether it be pro style or spread, fast tempo, no huddle. I don't think, Bill right now is running the same offense in Manhattan that he was running with Colin Klein and Jake Waters and Lockett and some other guys. He had more success with some of those other guys in that offense now. It doesn't mean it's a bad offense. I think we made changes when they were warranted, and we took advantage of the changes that we made.
Thanks, Coach.